Big Zeus. Big Zeus. Going to the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching sniper season on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth.
Good morning.
Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promising selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK. Now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Yeah, Big Zeus. It's the people's house. Big Zeus. Powers in the air. Big Zeus. We knocking on your door. Big Zeus. We wanna hear your soul. Yeah. Yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People on them playing.
Happy Friday.
This is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. Trapping out the west.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday.
Dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red
Let's go.
But you don't know who's on my line. Got the Constitution jumping. Yeah, you know it's so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside. And the gates is locked. This power 11-5. Sitting for the block. Head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly why we are here.
It's the people's house.
We knocking on your door.
It's the people's house.
We wanna hear your soul. All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have all morning to do what we came to do. Good morning, Val, my brother. Nice to see you, Val. Good morning to the chat.
It's like I'm stuck in time.
We don't got all day.
It's like a curse, and I can't escape it. It's like
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
it's deja vu when I'm running up these rats.
Got some birthdays to knock out today. Hopefully everyone can make it. I know it's Angie's, but you know there's another one. I think Straight Facts as well. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. We'll keep it for an hour.
Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish. Sitting there screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you rich and famous.
That algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Am I right, Heaven? Benjamin Franklin's our bestie. Hey, got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited. Call me the master with a new whip. I'ma take off in a spaceship. Here's a Zeus hater.
I've gone into Zeus's live and a couple of drug tests taken.
I'm sitting up
Shit
getting a
was
drug test
radical.
taken.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like
Got it.
deja vu.
Got it.
It's like deja
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I just got a quick question. Are they correct? Has Zeus gone way off the rails? All right, because that's incredible. Tara, good morning. Nice to see you. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are in the Thunderdome. I am your host, I am your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here, all right? We have to save this great country of ours from guess who? The guy in the background, Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons, all right? And so with that being said, before we get started, let's take care of some very important housekeeping items in terms of how this show is ran. I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, what? Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because, well, I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. I've survived quite a while, right? The second H is, well, because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize, all right? But here is the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it does not mean I owe you an apology. Most likely it means you need to sit your special behind down and continue to listen to this special broadcast. WG Man. WG Man, thank you, brother. All right, and then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on, ask my friend Nutty. It is because I am and will always remain the most handsome. Look at my features, all right? All right, okay, so what we're here to do is tell the truth and shame the devil, all right? And this is why we call it the Thunderdome, all right? And so with that being said, I must give all of the people who tune in and listen to this special broadcast a heads up. Do I have any Trump supporters out there still? Is there anybody out there that's just so thrilled head over heels about Donald J. Trump? Anybody out there still supporting this guy? Because honestly, I'm going to give you the same opportunity I give you every single morning. It's a wonderful opportunity to leave this broadcast, and you could go hang out with those fake TikTok hosts who clearly there's something wrong with them. Something's really wrong with them up here. And they'll lie to you. They'll tell you things like, you're winning when you're not. You know who they are. They even put winning in their accounts. You know who I'm talking about. And they get all up in the camera and they just lie through their teeth. All right, you go hang out with them because they'll lie to you. Over here, no. We're going to tell you so much truth your head is going to spin. I promise you, I will ruin your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, and everything in between, including the Cheez-Its and the Diet Coke, all right? Because you're going to get so sick of hearing what we're saying, all right? And so if you don't want to experience that, like I said, leave right now because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it, all right? Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. The doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. It's been brought to my attention, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a crisis. There's a crisis in this country. I opened up you open up your device every morning, and I'm starting to get a lot of information out there coming from very credible sources that a lot of you Trump supporters are no longer winning. I'm not asking you to, regret your vote quite yet, but it's been brought to my attention that a lot of you are not winning. All right. And so, I thought about it and I said, why would these supporters of Donald Trump think they are going to win? And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I'll do is I want to make sure MAGA understands how we have 100% irrefutable evidence that you're not winning. We have 110% evidence that you're not winning. All right. And so what I'll do is we're going to enter something into the record. And I want you to pay attention what winning sounded like before. All right. All right. And this is an exercise you got to do in the safety of your home. All right. And if you're a Trump supporter, go into a room right now. Make sure no one's watching you listen to this. All right. But this is what winning sounds like. All right. And you might recognize this. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it.
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
Wow. And look at where we're at right now. Look at where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. Your 401ks. Are you winning, MAGA, with your 401ks? Ports are empty all over the country, MAGA. And I understand this is how y'all got into the cult. It really felt like y'all were winning when he said that, right? Oh, yeah. We're going back in time because this is when they fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Oh, yeah, I mean, this is what Donald Trump was promising you supporters.
If we want America to thrive in the 21st century, then we must stop running from the competition. And instead, we must start totally winning and winning and winning again. Remember when I used to say, we're going to win so much? We're going to win that the people of Missouri are going to go to your governor and they're going to say, Governor, please go see the president. We can't stand winning so much. Remember, I used to say that, right?
Yeah.
I used to say it, and that's what's happening.
That's
what's happening. And then the governor's going to come to that beautiful historic Oval Office. He's going to say to me, Mr. President, the people of Missouri cannot stand all this winning. They don't want to win so much. They love the old way, where they had lousy job numbers, lousy economic numbers, lousy. They loved it. Please, Mr. President, please not. And I'll say, Governor, I don't care what they say in Missouri. We're going to keep winning and winning and winning and winning. Remember?
You hear this? You hear this, ladies and gentlemen? So this was what winning sounded like. And so now we get to actually come to where we are today. Would y'all like to hear what winning sounds like today now that Donald Trump has been in the White House? Let's make sure we get this on the record. And again, we've all heard it before, but listen to all the energy that he has when he talks about all the winning him and his supporters are doing.
After I made the Donald Trump's
Hold on.
theory of Christmas the lead story on this program
Here it goes.
yesterday.
Somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
So we can only afford $2, MAGA. $2. And then he goes on and says it again. This is what winning looks like, MAGA.
Let's talk about the tariffs. And I want to ask you about something you said this week. Got a lot of attention. You were at your cabinet meeting. You said, quote, I'm going to quote what you said, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30.
Yeah.
And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. Are you saying that your tariffs will cause some prices to go up?
No, I think the tariffs are going to be great for us because it's going to make us rich.
But you said some dolls are going to cost more. Isn't that an acknowledgement that some prices will go up?
I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have $30. I think they can have $3 or $4 because what we were doing with China was just unbelievable. We had a trade deficit of hundreds of billions of dollars with China.
When you say they could have $3 instead of $30, are you saying
they don't need
Americans
$30.
could see empty store shelves?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they don't need to have $30. They can have $3. They don't need to have 250 pencils. They can have 5.
But you're basically saying there could be some supply shortages because of the
we don't have to
tariffs.
waste money on a trade deficit with China for things we don't need, for junk that we don't need.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the difference between what winning sounds like before and what winning sounds like now. And obviously, his supporters, they're feeling it right now. They're not winning. They're losing like you wouldn't believe. W. Zeus in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. W. Zeus, right? His supporters, they're losing. All right? And so, well, I mean, it's just more evidence that Donald Trump has no clue what he's doing. He knows that they're losing, and his supporters. I mean, you hear these stories coming right out of the White House from this guy, and all I could keep thinking
If your neck
about,
looks like this, you need to watch.
all I could keep thinking about is where is the winning energy, MAGA? You know, the winning that he was promising. Where is the winning energy in this?
Do you expect that it will just be a formality to break the ice, or are they going to get into substantive negotiations?
I believe so, yes. I believe it's substantive, yes.
He's talking about the
I think
ports
people like to say,
with
yes,
China.
we're having a meeting to meet. Well, we're meeting, so what are we going to do? Talk about meeting again? I think it's going to be substantive. I think we can say that, right, Scott? Very substantive. Now, China wants to do something. And look, they have to at this point. You know, essentially, they made $1 trillion a year, and now they have absolutely, no business because of the tariffs. They have no business, and they want to have business, and we want them to have business. We want them to do well.
Oh,
We want them to do very well. So I think it's going to be very substantive.
Because business has slowed down, as you mentioned.
In China.
But we're seeing as a result, the ports here in the U.S.,
The ports.
traffic has really slowed, and now
That's good.
thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
Yeah, no, that means we lose less money. When I see that, that means we lose less money. Look,
so he's now telling you, MAGA, that having empty shelves and ports is a good thing because guess what, MAGA? That means you are losing less money. How are you losing less money? And you got to do the math. I thought about this and I said, so obviously 0 is probably the lowest number you could find, right? So, okay, of course you're going to lose money. You're not going to lose that much money when there's no money to lose, MAGA. And so what you have to understand is that Donald Trump, he's now talking about losing and not winning. Am I right, W. Zeus? It's not. When is he going to get back to all of this winning?
you're going to be so proud of your country
Remember this?
if I get in.
I want this
you're
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that.
This is the one I want.
But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans.
Hi, Jeff.
We're going to win with every
Hey, good morning,
single
Bruce. How are you
facet.
today?
We're going to win so much.
Okay.
You may
Are you here on behalf of Trump?
Yes, sir.
You asked me to prove that the ports are empty, or are you saying
No,
they?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well. To be quite honest, I would encourage you to what city are you in?
I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Okay. Have you ever been out here to the West Coast at all before?
Absolutely. I used to live in Long Beach.
Okay, so you're familiar with the area. What are they saying? What are the people that work at these ports? At the highest levels. What are they actually saying based on your research, if you don't mind?
I recently have seen videos in the last week of Long Beach
Okay,
port,
so you know
which
what?
is pretty big with a lot of containers and a lot of trucks moving
Yeah.
and container ships waiting to get unloaded.
And what are they saying? I'm looking on the internet now, and I'm not sure if you're aware of what they're saying, but it's saying Port of LA is down 35%. You know that?
Yeah.
And that is
Yep.
not, to me, down is not winning. That's actually losing, right? Because I'm hearing this has a trickle down effect. So this means there's truckers sitting around waiting for loads, but there's no loads because the port there's nothing coming in that they can.
That doesn't mean that. That just means that they've had a 35% decrease in containers coming in.
Oh, so you're interpreting that the 35% means all products are just all products are coming in, right? But just there's a smaller amount of them. You don't think that there are businesses out there they don't even get anything. You don't understand that, right?
No, I don't think businesses are currently hurting for anything. My shelves at my grocery stores are still stocked clear full.
What you said you're in Cedar
And
Rapids?
Walmart's clear full.
Okay, you're in Cedar Rapids?
Yep.
Okay, and you said there's a Walmart there?
Several. We got 3 of them.
What is this? 3601 29th Avenue. That sounds like an area you're familiar with. Or how about Blair's Ferry Road? Which one of those
Blair's Ferry Road.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, let me go onto this Walmart website, all right? And what I'll be doing is I'm just going to do a quick Google search, all right? Let me see. You know what? I see eggs. Oh, $8.12.
That's not true.
No.
Where
I'm
are you
looking.
getting
It's
that
an
from?
18 count. It's an 18 count. You can go pick it up right there at Walmart.
18 count.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
and then I see a 36 count for $15. Now he told
At my
you that.
Aldi's, it's $4.67.
Well, he said that the price has gone down 94%, and obviously this doesn't reflect that, right? Have you ever done
Correct.
that thing that I've done? Have you actually ever taken Donald Trump's word and gone into like a store and tried to get them to give you what he said it is costing? You know, is gas $1.97 where you're at, perhaps?
It is at if you're gonna.
Let me
fill
go ahead and look it up.
E85.
Let me go ahead and look it up. Where's gas?
I did pay $2.47 yesterday for E88.
Oh, so it's not $1.97.
It's $1.97 if you're paying for E85. There's a difference in the fuel.
Oh, really?
E85 is for those flexible vehicles, that you can put. It's more 85% ethanol.
I'm looking in your area, 285, 280, 276, $3.
Where are you getting that off of?
Right off of the internet, bro. This is right here. You know where Covington is,
I'll
right?
take pictures for you today.
You know where Covington is? You know where Murphy, USA? You know where Phillips 66? You know where Shell is at? I mean, these are just the gas stations that I see in your area. Covington.
Covington? No, I don't even know that place.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little outside of where you're at. Maybe you don't know it, but I'm looking in the area, and again, there's Pilot out there. You know where is this? What is this? The C? What are you? You know where Fast Smart is?
By the airport.
Yeah. So none of those places, sir, have gas that's $1.97. You don't have the groceries, and I've kind of debunked you on the ports because there are shelves that are empty.
Gas fuel, Zeus. When you have a gas station right next to a highway, do you think the fuel is going to be higher than it is in town?
Higher.
Yeah, correct. Because you got people coming off the highway that need fuel, right? And so and they want to get right back on, so they're going to charge extra.
Yeah, but so Jeff, let me ask you this: do you feel like you're winning?
I think things are going pretty well.
Because you want me to play? You don't have the energy that he had when he was saying winning. I don't know if you heard when he was saying.
Yeah, I heard that.
He said we're going to win on the economy.
Yep.
Do you honestly feel like you're winning, like way more than you have ever won in your life?
No, 100%. No.
What would you need more of in order for you to feel that way?
I'd like to. I think the economy itself, generally, right now, is doing quite well. I think the unemployment is down. Jobs are up.
But you didn't. But my question was more of a personal question. I asked you, do you feel like, you voted for Donald Trump and he promised all this winning, right? Winning on the economy, winning on the military, winning at every level. And I asked you, do you feel like you're winning right now more than you've ever won in your life? And your response was not really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still winning though.
What's lacking in order for you to feel that way?
I would like to see the crypto market go up a little bit higher.
That's it?
Yeah, that would be really good. I mean, I'd make a lot.
You don't really care about your egg prices coming down, then, right? You don't care about your grocery prices coming. You don't care about inflation at all.
Well, I don't know that we're going to be able to lower all the inflation that Biden during his administration. What happened during his administration? I think we hit a pretty high 9.1%. Obviously, for reasons, right? C-19 was a big reason.
Okay. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. But I also didn't Trump say that at certain point when he got elected that he was going to take care of it and bring it down?
Oh yeah, and he said that he was going to do it in his first day.
And he hasn't done that, correct?
Correct.
So you're not winning on that.
Well, it's gone down. Right? But the price of eggs have gone down.
to what levels? He said it's gone down 93, 94%. And you and I have just went over the prices. And you see, just like I see it, that in order for you to be winning, you would have to be paying 34, 38 cents for a carton of eggs. And you're not doing that, right?
No, and I don't think we've ever done that, right?
Okay, so you're not winning on the
Because
egg.
then
You're not
egg
winning on
farmers
the egg.
wouldn't
So,
be in
so,
business.
so Jeff, why I enjoy this conversation is because I actually believe you might be able to get out of the cold if you would just kind of be open and honest with us a little bit more. Are you willing to do that?
Well, I
Because
don't know
if I
that
were to
I'm
just
gonna
say,
quote.
if I were to just say, like, honestly, looking at what's happening right now, you and I can both agree 35% reduction in any situation is not a good thing. Not a good thing, bro. You can't. If
As
somebody,
far as
let's say, you run a. Do you run a business or are you working like you're employed?
I run a business.
Okay, so let's just say annually, we cut your profits by 35%. What happens in your world?
Yeah, that's a pretty good downfall. Yeah, I don't 35%. Wouldn't put me out of business, but I have experienced due to the inflation, the cost of my goods for me to do my business have
Okay,
gone
but you
up.
didn't really answer my question. In your business, do you have employees?
No, I don't currently.
Okay.
No.
So what would happen in the business that you're in if you were to inherit a 35% reduction in profits as a result of whatever's going on, factors maybe outside of your control? What steps would you have to take in order to save that business?
Uh, that's kind of that's a tough question because I don't see that happening. I do pest control business, so it's kind of an essential business that I do, and people love that service.
No,
And so it's just like mowing the lawn and stuff like
no,
that.
Jeff, but and I think you're helping me to get through to other people like you. Honestly, at a
Okay.
35% reduction in your business, you got to start cutting costs somewhere. You got to start trimming the fat. You got to start looking where you can cut back, or you got to try to figure out how to fill that void. But you're not going to continue to be able to operate. You might have, other business dealings you got, where you owe other people money. I don't know what you
Well,
do but
yeah,
you got to pay your
I don't know.
overhead.
I don't know anybody,
Well,
but
you
yeah, I
have
see
to
what you're
have
saying. I
you have
mean,
to have overhead, right? You have to buy supplies. You got
well,
to do
yeah,
equipment, your car and stuff, your maintenance and all that. There's things you got to keep going in order for your business to be able to run, so you can keep waking up every day and making some money. And so
right.
if I'm telling you, Jeff, you're going to have to take this 35% hit to your bottom line. It seems to me like you don't really understand how that could impact you, and you're not really prepared. And this is
Well,
concerning
it
because
would
how long have you been doing this business?
for 36 years.
Okay. So this is nothing you can't actually answer. You should be able to answer this question after 36 years of
Well, what I'm
experience.
telling you for the question that you're asking me is, I don't know where you're getting the 36% from, other than just saying the
35%.
ports.
I said
35%,
35% because we were talking about the ports,
right?
and you were coming up here saying, "Well, show you proof that the ports are empty." And I'm going, "Well, it's an average, the percentage, but that means some ports are probably going to have places where it's empty, and then there's going to be other parts in the port where there's going to still be a lot of things that. But when you average it all out, it's a 35% reduction, right? And so I'm asking you
So
to
they're
look at
going to
it.
have to lay off some port workers,
Oh,
is what you're wanting to say.
oh, we're getting
Longshoremen.
somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
All the years that I spent in California, I remember several times where they laid off workers in the ports. There was times where they had to lay them off. They didn't have enough containers coming in. I mean, we could talk about the 70s, 80s, 90s, all that. During those times, you can go back and look at the history of ports. There has been fluctuations of stuff coming into the country.
But Jeff, while you might have some sort of angle on that, I'm not back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. We're in 2025.
Right.
This situation we're having is the direct result of Trump and his tariffs, the Trump
Do you,
tax,
do
right?
you think that you might be yourself a little indoctrinated?
I possibly could be, but I don't really want to dive too deep into that just quite yet.
Well,
I
sure.
really want to keep unpacking the fact that you are acknowledging that a 35% reduction could possibly, or actually it is translating into Americans losing their jobs, right?
Right.
And that includes Trump supporters.
Oh, I'm sure it does. The ports usually are mostly Republican.
Okay, so let's do another understanding now. Do another deep dive about this. Is a person that loses their job, well, so a person that voted for Donald Trump, right? They probably voted for him so that they could win. They wanted to
Correct.
feel like they were winning. Now, would a person like you just described that may have voted for Trump and worked at a port, now they're losing their job, would you consider that winning or losing?
That would be losing
And
for
so
them.
this for them, right? And
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just them. Honestly, it'd be losing for a lot of people in America as well. And so, what you're acknowledging this morning on the show, Jeff, is that a lot of Trump supporters will not be winning, unfortunately, because of Donald Trump's failed policies, right?
Well, I think a lot of Biden
No,
supporters or Harris supporters also will not be winning.
but who's talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? At least Joe Biden had enough sense to have a steady
Do
hand.
you think everybody won? Well, he didn't have much of a steady hand when he had an auto uh, signature going on,
The what? The auto
and,
pen?
and his wife was running the presidency for probably the last 2 years. Notice how she kicked in on the
But
View there, and
so
she backed up her husband. Did you watch the View with Biden's on there?
I did that, but Jeff, here's the thing: who's the sitting president?
Trump.
Why are we even talking about Joe Biden, aka Sleepy Joe, Dementia Joe? I'm just pointing out to you that Joe Biden and all of those accusations that you all levied against him, he had enough common sense to not make ports lose 35% of their business with these tariffs.
Well,
You were doing a lot. You know what? And I hate to say it, you were doing a lot better under Joe Biden.
really. So with
Yeah.
all
Do
the
you have a
inflation,
401k? Do
the
you have a
cost of
401? Do you
groceries went up.
do you have a 401k?
Yes, sir.
How's it looking?
It's doing pretty well.
In what
I
sense?
diversified
So
my portfolio.
so your 401k has not been impacted at all, is what you're suggesting. Because I would
There
hate to think you'd just get on
there was a
TikTok and
short
start.
impact. There was a short impact. Yep. Now it's back up quite
Okay, so
nice.
when that impact, okay, let's just go to that. Was the impact that you experienced, was it a good one or a bad one?
Well, it went down just like it went down in the
Okay, so
90s and in
W
the
Zeus,
2000s.
W Zeus. So Jeff, that's the thing.
But it's
Your
back up, Zeus.
No, it's
And
not.
you know the stock market, Zeus. You're a smart man, and you know that it goes up and it comes down, then it goes up, comes down. But over time, over the last 30 years, is the stock market up or down?
It always tends to go up and always tends
Since
to correct
the
it.
Great
So,
Depression, is it up or down?
but Jeff, again, what I want.
If you would have put $100 in the stock market back
So
in
you
in
had
the
no problem. So what you're
Depression,
so Jeff,
where would you be at today?
Jeff.
You
So
wouldn't have
far,
to be on TikTok.
Jeff. So far, you've acknowledged that your these ports are going to be laying people off, right? And that's a bad thing. You've also acknowledged that
They'll hire them back.
you also acknowledged you personally your 401k has been impacted, right? So this is a unique situation that you're experiencing right now. This isn't like factors outside of our control are impacting the market. All of the things that you and I are talking about that are actually harming you can be directly tied to your dear leader. That's the difference, and that's why I don't want to go back to and deal with all the other things that happened before. What I'm bringing up and making sure you and I are on the same page about is whether we're talking about empty shelves, whether we're talking about empty ports, or just these relationships we got with our allies about trade. All of this can be linked to Donald Trump, and he doesn't know what the heck he's doing. And if he does, he doesn't care that it's actually harming you, one of his dearest supporters, and you're
So,
still supporting him.
of course.
And this
And
is
because I believe in the end game, things will be much better.
oh
Probably he'll be considered one of the best presidents ever in our government because he actually come in to straighten out the government and not let it grow to the behemoth it's grown to,
okay.
and the actual money that's getting wasted and corrupted.
Okay, Jeff, you've made it to level 2. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Jeff a huge round of applause. Now, Jeff, I'm bringing up my good friend Val, who has honestly
Oh yeah, I remember Val.
he's listened to this conversation, and I believe you graduated, and now I want to see what you and Val can work out in terms of having an understanding. But I've already annihilated you. Hey, Val, how are you doing,
In your
brother?
opinion,
So when we talk about ports losing 35% of their input, and you want to just say, well, maybe some port workers will lose their job.
and
That
what
comes with
happens when the port workers lose their job?
that comes with an extreme lack of understanding of who else is going to lose their jobs. Okay? That means truckers aren't going to be able to make money. Right now, truckers are taking loads at almost 50% of what their value was 1 year ago because they have no choice to try to keep running. Okay? That means truckers are actually driving to lose money right now.
So Val, 1 year ago, what was happening, and how come they were getting paid so much extra above what they normally were making? People were going
Sir,
out to be
you're
truck
trying to
drivers.
spin something into something it wasn't.
Oh, it didn't
That
happen?
was market, sir. It's called fair market value. Do you
Right,
understand the
right.
term?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if you understand the term, you understood that was the fair market value. Now the market value of what they're trying to truck is 50% of what they're trying to do because they're just trying to find loads to keep running.
That's right.
Okay?
So we got too many
So
truckers
sir,
now. Is that what you're saying?
when that happens, our economy starts to fall, sir. And we're falling under several different ranges. Y'all just talked about ports. What's happening to oil field workers right now, sir?
I don't know about the oil field workers.
Oil
Tell
field
me,
workers are getting laid off as well.
why is that,
So
Val?
much for drill, baby, drill, because U.S. oil companies will not drill when the price per barrel of oil is below $50.
And when did that happen? When did it drop below 50?
It's already, sir, it's already almost there, actually. And they've
What's
already stopped
almost?
drilling. They've
Has it
already
dropped below
informed
60, Val?
from the oil companies, sir, you can go look up this story. They've already informed all active rigs that when this job is done, there will not be a new rig for them to go to.
Right.
Okay. So what happened to drill, baby, drill? And do you understand the amount of income and job loss that creates?
Oh yeah, there's that oil people make
Okay.
good money.
So now we've got through 2 job loss, or actually 3 job loss terms. Now what happens to businesses when they can't get their products to sell because they're not coming into the ports?
Can you tell me how much oil is today?
Oil right now, oil today. Hold on, I can actually tell you.
And while Val is getting that information, Jeff, are you willing to admit when you're wrong once we give you this information? Because I enjoy this very deep discussion about facts. All right.
Right.
So as long as you get the
Yeah, if
information
he,
and you can see that, points are being made, I think this will be a good discussion because what I don't want you to do is to turn around and spin it and then start talking about Joe Biden. Because I knew that's where you were going.
5909, sir.
Oh, oh, Jeff, if you don't mind, Jeff, we want you to be
I
transparent.
couldn't look up that right there because obviously it puts me on teacup, but
Okay, that's what you were doing.
5909.
5909.
Mm-hmm.
So it dropped below 60 for the first time.
What did I tell you, sir? What's
And
going to
you
happen
said
when it
that
does
people
that?
would lose their jobs when it dropped below
Absolutely.
$50
And
a
they've
barrel.
already, sir, this came out a month ago. Oil companies knew this was going to happen. This is why in the beginning, before he was even elected, oil companies said that the CEOs of oil companies said they don't know what he means by drill, baby, drill. They don't even understand the term. This is the same man in 2018 put 40 U.S. oil companies out of business.
40 U.S. oil companies out of
Yes,
business?
go look it up, sir. It's called the Great Oil Crash
I
2018.
will look at that. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, this is
You're welcome,
these are
Jeff.
the things that are going on, and we got people losing jobs. Now I'm going to go back to what I was saying. What happens when small businesses can't get the products they ordered?
And we're back to where we started.
What happens
Jeff.
when small businesses can't get the products that they ordered?
hmm
Then if they ordered it and they can't come, then that's what they do without, I guess.
They do without. Do
Yeah.
we want to call it what really happens?
Do they need to close their business because they can't get the products? Is that what you want to?
That's usually what happens, sir. If you can't get the products you sell, you usually go out of business.
So 35% down at the ports is going to signify that. I'd be more
Absolutely,
concerned
sir. 10%.
if the
10%
ports
would
were
be,
empty.
sir. So you understand a 10% reduction at the ports creates issues. A 10%.
I would.
We're three
I'd be
times.
surprised
We're
if that
three
makes a big
times
difference.
that rate.
The amount of products that we import every day,
Sir, we import a lot of products.
right?
Okay.
We're a consuming nation. That's correct.
Right. Now, what happens to that same small business when he has to pay 140% more for that product? Are
Well,
you going to
obviously,
pay
he's
it?
going to pass that on to the consumer.
Oh, so now we got an admittance of it. It'll actually go to the consumer. So now we do fully understand that any tariff program that is put in place will go directly to the consumer. You know,
AKA
like the
NAGA.
whole. Well, they just may have $2 now instead of 30.
Didn't they just recently announce that China and U.S. are going to be discussing their tariffs?
Who? Trump?
I have not. Trump said it.
Yep.
China
That's
said
not
he
they.
was a liar.
That's not
And
they.
and do you think China's economy is just rip roaring right now?
You know what? Here's the thing with China's economy. You see, y'all think China's scared. They're actually not. Okay? Because right now, as we're speaking, instead of doing deals through the U.S. like what used to happen, we've got Canada, the EU, Mexico, all working with China directly, going around the U.S.
So you make it sound like that those people couldn't trade with China without coming to the United States first.
It used to be that U.S. had first bid on everything that was coming from China. So to get into that market, that would go through the U.S. The U.S. would have to give up some of the market for other countries. Yes.
Okay,
So Jeff,
it's not
you're-
like that they get the stuff from China, like we received it and we then turn and send it to the other
No,
countries.
but we use stuff from China to actually build stuff here that does go to other countries.
All right, that sounds pretty
so
reasonable.
so Jeff, what are you learning as a result of this conversation? I'm just curious.
Well, I think global economics.
What does that mean to you? What do you mean? I mean,
Well, personally, what does it mean to me? I mean, I'm doing fine. I mean, there are other people in this country. They're hurting a little bit. I think Trump even said we're going to go through a tough time right here at the
A
beginning.
tough time. We're going to go through a tough time in the beginning, sir. How long
Yep.
would it
How,
take
how
to
many
bring? How
days
long
you
would
been
it
in?
take to bring those
125?
manufacturing jobs to the U.S., sir?
Say again. That.
How
Sorry,
long
Bob.
would it take to bring those manufacturing jobs to the U.S.?
Oh, it'd take quite a while.
And then at what cost?
At what cost? Whatever it would take. I mean, we should be
Whatever it
manufacturing
would
a lot more in
take,
this
sir. The
country.
stupidity that's coming out of your mouth right now is staggering.
yeah. And I have to,
Okay.
I'm trying to
So
be
all
kind
those
with the
factories
judgment.
that are shuttered in the Rust Belt that could be reopened and redone instead of building the Ford pickup trucks up in Canada. Why can't we make them right there?
Because Ford's not going to
Michigan?
build trucks in the U.S. Because Ford right now can't get all the parts. Are you going to go pay $6,000 more for that Ford?
Well, of course not.
You're starting to catch on to the problem.
So Jeff,
That's why I think that you're cutting things short. You got to
No,
wait
I'm
till
not cutting
things play
anything
out.
short, sir. There's only two ways this works. And you know what? It would be different if we didn't have evidence of how this actually goes down. If we didn't have evidence of what actually happened through the 1920s and the 1930s that created the Great Depression,
There's
and
a
the
lot of
understanding
different.
that two, not one. Everybody likes to talk about Smoot-Hawley, but there was actually two blanket tariff plans.
so Jeff, what's it going to be? people are asking for your soul right now in terms of the lake of fire. They want judgment. But I honestly think you're up here trying to learn. I really do believe you're up here trying to learn. And my concern, honestly, is that you're not being as transparent or truthful because it's hard to walk away from Donald Trump, perhaps. Is that where you're at? Am I right?
No,
It's
I
kind
don't.
of hard to just say, I've been duped because you haven't won a single point.
I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump says. What comes out of his mouth. Um, at
But you
the time, the
understand that
reason I
everything
voted
that
for him
comes out of
because
his mouth has ramifications, right?
absolutely it does. He's got the
Okay,
bully pulpit,
worldwide,
right?
right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, globally.
Okay, that's the part people need to start understanding. Is y'all want to go, well, he says stupid things sometimes. Well, I want you to understand that those stupid things that you all like to write off are being very listened to by the rest of the world. That's
Yeah.
what you need to understand. That's why when
I
we
agree.
put people in the White House, integrity is important.
As long as they have a backbone and want to do
Oh, it
something
has a
to make
backbone?
change.
Sir,
So,
this
No,
is what
Jeff.
you compared this a minute ago. You compared in January of 2025, when we were coming into January of 2025, every aspect of our economy was growing. GDP was growing.
That part.
Oil production was growing.
Mm.
Our stock market was growing. Our job rate was growing. Our job creation was growing. Our unemployment was going down.
Thank you, Biden.
Okay? Every aspect of our economy was moving the right direction. It took 100 days to destroy every aspect of our economy now moving the wrong direction. Layoffs are up. Job creation is down. And y'all talked about a second ago, inflation. Sir, do you know why inflation is on the drop right now?
why is it
Do
on the
you
drop?
understand how inflation works? I want to ask you, do you think zero inflation is good?
No.
Why?
Well, I think could you even go to negative inflation?
Correct. What's the
Can you?
problem with that?
I mean, stagnation, is that what we call it?
Yeah, it's actually
Stagflation.
called recession.
Recession.
Okay?
Yep.
Because this is why things are going down, because we're starting to see the beginning of the recession because of job loss.
Where's the unemployment rate today?
Based on his numbers, we don't know, but I can
No,
tell you
based on the
this.
CBO number.
But I can tell you this. It's not the same. I mean, you don't lose over, it's almost, the number now is 750,000 jobs. You don't lose over 750,000 jobs and the number not moved. But although their White House is trying to claim it hasn't moved.
Is it possible that other jobs and public jobs have been actually increasing?
No, sir. We know about the layoffs. Everybody around this country understands and has felt the layoffs.
Looks like I made it to level 3.
You just had several companies. One big one, UPS, announce how many jobs? Oh, it was 20,000 people they're about to lay off.
Currently, it is reported that it's 4.2% higher than 2024 and 7.2 million unemployed.
4.2% higher. What it was?
It was at 2.1% under Joe Biden.
The unemployment rate was at 2.1%.
At what point? Yeah, he had employed over 15 million. He had recovered all the jobs from COVID and then increased it by 12 million. You guys don't seem to comprehend that everything was going up. He cleaned up the mess. He passed legislation, and you guys turned around and said, let's give Trump another try, where he ran us into the toilet starting in 2019. Then COVID hit, and that gave you guys all a kickstand. Let's just lean it on COVID. Let's lean it on COVID. Blame COVID and not the corruption that was happening in the White House.
So you're saying that it got down to 2.1%, the unemployment rate?
Go look at the numbers yourself, Jeff. You're up here asking Val all these questions, and you seem to be very uninformed about what
I'm
happened
just,
under the Trump
I
administration.
would have thought
I
that would
gave
have
you
made
the
news.
I gave you the current number of 4.2%. That's what you
Right.
asked for. That's
And that,
7.2
isn't that the
million.
lowest rate it's been in the last 8 years?
That's 7.2 million unemployed right now. And let me remind you that
And you're
over a
okay
million of
with
those are
everybody that
federal
got laid off
employees.
during
Why
COVID
is
and
it
they
when
came
I'm
back
talking,
and
you're
we're counting
talking over
those?
me?
Jeff, you're over talking Jim. You can't do that in here. You know that. We're respectful.
So,
But he brought up something I'd like to address.
go ahead.
Sir, you talked about the okay of people getting laid off during C-19. I want to make something really, really clear. There was a program put together by the House and the Senate at that time to help those people. Unfortunately, it was put out to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like that took advantage of that money and did not use it for what it was intended for, which was to keep people employed.
Mm.
And then they got forgiveness for it.
What a crying shame.
I think quite a few people, I think there's several Democrats you could name too that also did the same thing.
Find me ones that because most of these that I find are actually Republicans.
I will. There was even
I'm sure there's
somebody here
a
in the
couple,
state of Iowa. Yeah, I mean there
but
was
I
a
can
couple,
go. I
right?
can name
Anytime
off
we
10
open up
Republicans right away.
every time we open up a checkbook like that and just hand money out, people take advantage of it from the government.
Why, sir? Why was that
Many
taken
states had
advantage
to
of?
give money
No,
back.
sir. When you put money out like that, why was it taken advantage of? For the same reason he's getting taken advantage of now. Because
Because of the corruption in
when
our
you
government.
put money out with zero plan,
Mm.
this is what happens. Now, you can say this anytime we put money out,
When
but
did
I can tell
when did
you
that
right
happen during
now,
the Biden
do you
administration?
remember
Recently?
08, sir?
Yes, I do remember 08.
Okay, did that money do what it was supposed to do?
Uh, if you're talking
It
about the
actually
housing
did.
crisis
It
and
actually
the
did, didn't it?
house loans,
Yeah, that house actually put that money actually put people back to work, got us back on our feet during one of the worst recessions, correct?
what
Since
happened? What happened?
since the Great
Why did
Depression.
2008 happen though?
But
What made 2008 happen? Deregulation of the housing market and the banks.
Right.
so
I wondered who
why would
else
you
did that.
so Jeff, why are you agreeing to everything else we're saying, and then when we get to where we're at today, you're going, you know what, you're wrong. If we can
Well, I
agree on
kind of
all the
find
other
it.
things leading up to where we're at now, isn't it safe to say that we're telling you the truth about why Donald Trump is not qualified to be the president?
Well, I think you go a little far when you say he's not qualified to be the
He's not
president.
qualified.
But
What
what I
education
will
makes him
say though
qualified?
is
Sir,
what's
Jeff,
really
give me an
interesting.
education that makes him qualified.
I I don't know what colleges he went to and got. What did he go to Harvard? I don't know.
No.
Where did he
Lord,
go to college?
You're talking about the same man that threatened the college he went to if they showed his
Trump
credit.
University. Why is that
But you
funny?
don't know. Anyways, the whole thing when
You see
the
Jim's
lady came
picture
up
right
and
there?
she
You see
said
Jim's picture right there? What year was that in?
2023.
unemployment at its lowest level in
20,
54 years.
2023. And that was, you have to remember, Joe Biden had to recover all the positions that were lost during COVID. So before he could claim the lowest unemployment rate, and at this date it was 3.4%, that is after the recovery of COVID jobs.
Right. So what
February
you
of
think those?
2023, in February of 2023, this is from commerce.gov, not some backwoods place you guys like to pull your news from. Commerce.gov, unemployment as lowest in 54 years. In addition to that, Joe Biden also signed into law 400 pieces of bipartisan legislation. 400 pieces. Where's Trump at right now? 5?
He's only been in 100 days.
Stop it.
Sir, I don't want to hear you guys. You guys
How
keep
about
moving the goalposts. A couple weeks ago, it's
how
only
about
been
when
90
Biden comes
days.
out and he says he creates
Notice he
14
always
million
talks over
jobs,
me, but he
and those
doesn't
were the
talk
ones
over
lost during
Val.
Real quick, Zeus, I have to drop real
C19.
quick.
Come on.
Okay, yeah. All right, Val. Yeah, I heard you, Jim. Did you hear what Jim just said? Why do you always overtalk her?
Well, because she's making claims like the
No, I'm not
C19
making
jobs, like
claims. No,
he
I'm
brought
not
those
making
back,
claims. I'm
and it was
responding to
all
your
Joe
claims.
Biden. Those jobs were coming back no matter
I'm
what.
responding to your claims. And let's be very clear. You guys voted for America first. What you created and allowed was America last. Let's be very clear. We're going to be the last ones brought to the table. We're going to be the last ones getting trade deals. We're going to be the last ones getting health care. We're going to be the last ones getting education. We're going to be the last ones getting food for our children, for our elderly. You voted for that. It's America last.
No, she's not. And there's nothing. Actually, you said emotional. That was a strike.
That's
I'm
what
emotional.
Men have to do. Men have to do when strong, intelligent women give them facts and show them who they are in the mirror. They have to attack them with ad hominem attacks. I haven't
Jim.
told you a single word, Jeff.
Jim, Jeff, come on. When you're losing, just lose like a man.
Well, what I guess I don't understand. So all the jobs, all the things that were closed because of C19, when they told us to stay at home and stay in our homes.
You mean when Trump did? Because it was under Trump.
Right.
That was under
And
Trump,
what-
2020.
and who told
Yeah, there
him
you
to do
go.
that?
You're
Who told
welcome.
him to do
Let's
that?
remind the audience that was under
Okay.
Trump. I'm going to
Trump
talk
did
over
it.
you the way you talk over me.
Trump did it. So Trump did it, and we closed down the country. Per Dr. Fauci and all the people that were around him trying to advise him, you got to close it down because we don't want all these deaths. Then we turn around, Biden's in, and C19 gets finished, and all those jobs and all those businesses reopen. And he goes, "Oh, I created all those jobs.
Nope.
14 million new
I know,
jobs."
I
He
know
said it.
math
That
is
came out
hard
of his
for I
mouth.
know math is hard for MAGA, but I literally said that before you spoke. I literally said to you, that is after he recovered the jobs from COVID losses, he then had to build and build and build. And even
Biden
the
didn't
Department of
recover
Commerce
nothing
and
on
Labor
those COVID
Statistics.
jobs.
Why do you always talk when I'm talking, Jeff? This is why women have to talk
Because
louder.
you're not telling the
Because you
truth.
will never
Jeff.
shut up. For everybody in here, it is so important for you to take off the blinders and listen. The only reason that a first world country like the United States of America had the COVID issue it had was because of Trump. He lied, he denied, and Americans unalived. And over 44,000 American citizens were allowed to leave Asia and Europe during the tip of the COVID crisis and fly into international airports in Washington State, California, Texas, Florida, and New York. And then they took all of that COVID germ, the flying petri dish of people, brought it all over the country and spread it because he did not make them stay in the countries that they caught it in. So they brought it here and spread it all over. And you know how we know that? Science, Jeff. Science knows that they were able to determine that there were two separate types of COVID, the type that came out of Europe and the type that came out of Asia. That's what scientists do. But you know what we're not going to know, Jeff? Because he's literally fired all the scientists and the medical people that research it. We're not going to be able to tell anybody about the next epidemic because you guys don't comprehend that that's what he wants. He wants to sicken and weaken the rest of us while the richest get the best of it.
Well,
So when you say that he allowed those people to come back from those countries, when he went to shut down the airlines and everything, he got berated by the Democrats saying, "You
No, he
cannot
didn't.
do
That
that.
did not
You
happen.
cannot do that." And the
You are
Democrats
lying
went
again.
after him.
Wrong.
What do you
During
mean?
a
It's
during
in the
a
news. You
public
can
health
see it.
crisis, you are supposed to shut down the country. During a public health crisis, you are supposed to shut down the country. And that is what Title 42 is, Jeff. It is shutting down the borders so nobody enters with COVID. They were
Correct.
testing. They were testing, Jeff. It's called Title 42. And that
Correct.
is to protect the United States of America from a mass pandemic.
I agree.
So miss me with your bullshit. You're not going to win. Sorry, I had to say that.
There's no bullshit there. But
No,
at least
keep it
admit
clean.
that you've been
But so
indoctrinated with this stuff.
Jeff. So we've destroyed you on the economy. We're destroying you with Trump's first term in office. You're not really looking too good. You're getting a little wobbly, and we don't got much time. And Dr. Lex, welcome to the show. How you doing, champ? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Is there anything you want to say to Jeff? Because he's struggling to come to the light. He sees it, but he's not walking into it.
So Jeff, do you consider yourself a person that stands by the law and rule and the law of the land?
Yes.
Being the Constitution? Yes. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you feel about him violating multiple, the first, the fifth? I mean, he's going through the Constitution like he's doing in his lifestyle with the Ten Commandments, like a bucket list. Yeah. He's violating constitutional rights. I mean, he's violating due process, Jeff. I mean, that's in the Constitution clearly, isn't it?
That is.
You believe in the rule of law. It sounds like, right?
Right. I believe in
So,
due process. I think that's needed.
so why is it that you are standing by a person that is violating the rule of law with no due process? He's not giving these people he's deporting due process.
I don't know that they did. They have due process coming into the country.
If
they
they're
came
in the
here
country
illegally?
under the Constitution, Jeff, under the Constitution, if you have one toe in this country, you are provided due process. Have you read that?
Yes.
Okay, so what is there? Are there levels to due process? Is there like a chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla due process? I mean, how are we doing here?
I think if you cross in the border and you run in between port entries and you're here illegally,
What does that have
that
to do
you
with due
should be able to
process?
be deported. And Obama deported
What
tons
does
of
that
people
have
like
to do?
that.
What does that have to do process? Obama gave them due process. What does that have to do
What,
process?
when did Obama give due process on those
He
people?
gave every single person that was detained due process in front of a judge.
Yeah, it was under the expedited removal authority.
Expedited removal authority.
Yeah. There's an administrative thing they had to be, the hearing that they were able to get in order to get just, deported. And again, one thing is deporting people, but another thing is sending them to be put into a prison, or some like to say a concentration camp, especially when you haven't convicted them of anything. When you agree,
like those cages.
like if you're gonna, no, if you're gonna deport, let's just say somebody, shouldn't you just send them back to the country they came from if you're gonna do it? But now we're sending them to be locked up. What's the charge? I don't know. They were just in America illegally. That's illegal.
So the cages that were on the borders there built by Obama
Oh my God!
were
This is
detention
Captain
centers?
Pivot here.
Were they not detention
Jeez.
centers?
Oh
But
boy,
we
Jim,
could-
you're back,
They,
Jim.
they were.
Yes, they did detain
They were.
people. Yes,
They
they
were.
were.
Zeus hit
We're
heat
meant
up the
to
cooker.
detain families
Thank you.
together, not separate children from
Thank you.
Yeah.
the center. That's exactly what it's meant for. And let's just be very clear for everybody else in here, because Jeff's not paying attention to anything that's lawful, is that deporting somebody immediately upon getting them and sending them back to their homeland is not the same as rounding up people that have established immigration cases and deporting them without due process. There's
Yes. And it's not trials. It's just it's meetings with judges real quick. They have a lawyer or assigned a lawyer, and they go through and do that. It's a quick proceedings. So that's why we always push for the border bill, which would have given us more judges and all of the stuff that we needed to process the high rise of immigrants that came into the border due to C-19, right?
Wow.
And Jeff, what a lot of you don't know is that large migrant populations were on the rise throughout the entire world due to C-19, wars, famine, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, all of these things that have been going on in the last 5-6 years. And C-19 also caused a lot of issues. So that's why you saw a high rise of conservatisms getting elected throughout Europe, because they were all dealing with mass migration, right? And so there became this whole rhetoric, against this, right? and nationalism, because everybody tends to lean towards that occasionally in protecting their own country. That's why World War I started, was this high rise of nationalism. Then Schmittler brought it back and, talking about making Germany great again. And it's all in the preservation of things, right?
Yeah.
And so, but now you're starting to see the pendulum swing once they realize that this isn't half of what people were saying, and we care more about people's rights. And so now you're starting to see the push against conservatism and for liberalism again. And so that's what a lot of you don't understand, because you don't pay attention to what's going around the world. You just listen to this one guy telling you everybody's bad and your stuff is being affected and your rights are being trounced on and we've got to protect ourselves. And you don't understand that this has been an issue because of C-19. There was a huge gathering at the border because of that.
Bingo.
And that's why the numbers were a little higher. So
Bingo,
Okay, so
bingo,
let's
bingo. And guess what? We got to get to judgment, but go ahead, Dr. Lex, because the show's almost wrapping up. But Jeff, the crowd is judging you, and you still have a little bit of time, Jeff, to redeem yourself. Yes, Lex.
Jeff, you're going to have some trouble with this. This is going to cause an amygdala response from you. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain it because I don't have time. But at the end of the Civil War, the Union occupied the South. Okay, so the Confederate soldiers were running from the Union, trying to hide from being in prison in prison camps, and they created these little pockets of cities and places where they call them sundown towns. A lot of them where these Confederate soldiers were hiding, Jeff. Okay, so they had children. They procreated, unfortunately. So moving into the 1910s, 20s, and 30s, there was a little group of people called the Daughters of the Confederacy that was founded. They bought back the Confederate statues and the Confederate flags to fight against the removal of Jim Crow and civil rights. Okay, these Daughters of the Confederacy, when Robert E. Lee himself said to burn every Confederate flag and every uniform and let it go into the darkness because they lost, they bought it back. So we started seeing all these Confederate flags and bases and all these things being named. They fought against civil rights in the 60s. And in 1977, I think, the Daughters of the Confederacy and the Daughters of Liberty founded the Seven Mountain Foundation. Are you familiar with that, Jeff?
No, I'm not.
Okay, the Seven Mountain Foundation was formed by using the tactics of the Black Baptist churches during the Civil Rights Movement. But they founded their own one, a white one. The Seven Mountain Foundation became the Heritage Foundation. So literally in the United States right now, we are fighting the Confederacy that has taken over our government. That's the reason you're seeing the activities that they're professing now, Jeff. And for the comments, really quickly, my pronouns are he, him, spearfish, bourbon.
W-Lex, Dr. Lex. So Jeff, you've tried to climb Mount Olympus this morning. Very brave of you to do. But now we must get to the part of the show that we all came here for. Judgment.
Jim has something in her background. I don't know if she's.
Hold on. Let me.
Go ahead and switch over. Lex, hey, I appreciate that information, and I will look it up.
Okay.
Aha, I love this, Jim.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know. That this is the problem with MAGA, is they want to listen to Trump and the MAGA Congress. Let's be very clear. This isn't all Trump. This is MAGA Congress that is allowing Trump to get away with executive orders that are unlawful. This is MAGA administration, like the Department of Justice, that isn't supposed to work for Trump. They're supposed to work for the people of the United States of America and to actually follow the laws. So when you hear them throw around the term undocumented, there are 5 stages of undocumented. As soon as you enter without inspection, enter with legal status but overstayed, like Melania, deferred action for child rights.
Uh-oh, you're in and out. You're going in and out.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's crackling a little bit.
So it's so weird. So anyway, this is really important for people to comprehend that in this country, there are levels of legal status. There are levels of documented. It doesn't mean that these people arrived and they're unknown, it means that they don't have the documents for the United States, and that's why they present themselves to Border Patrol to get the hearing started. Once they are on U.S. soil, they have the right to be on U.S. soil and be heard to seek asylum. And for those of you who do not know the base meaning of asylum, it means safety.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Jim. Jim in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, and W to the panelists. All right. And so Jeff, we have now
a year to claim asylum. Also,
I agree with you there, Shay.
yeah.
There we go. Okay, so Jeff, we've now reached judgment. We've destroyed you on the ports. Val did a number on you with the economy. Jim has been giving you information about unemployment as well as the pandemic, all right, and undocumented citizens, undocumented people coming into this country. Dr. Lex has annihilated you. Shay has annihilated you. You have no more reason to be supporting Donald Trump. Are you willing today to face your judgment and to walk away from the cult? Yes or no?
Hey, just real quick, let me say something. Jeff, listen, don't get your information on www.clownpenis.fart, please. Look up legitimate information.
Thanks, Lex.
Jeff.
That was pretty funny.
Jeff, your soul is on the line, Jeff. And the people are begging me. They're saying, Zeus, send him to the lake of fire. And I'm trying my hardest not to. But we've invested
in the lake before.
What was that?
I had swam in that lake before.
Oh, okay.
Floated on my floaty in that lake.
Okay, Jeff. Say less, Jeff. It was a pleasure talking to you this morning, Jeff, but unfortunately, you failed. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Jeff, you lied, you tried, and guess what? You got fried. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus. Big Zeus. And plus I got to get up out of here real quickly. But listen, W's in the chat for all the panelists. That was a group effort.
Real quick, our little stalker obsessed Janae, I sent you what she made of us, right?
Yeah.
And attacking.
Yes, I did.
So I just want to, because I'm always trying to educate you people, like, because you're ugly in the heart, this is why you get caught with what you're doing. So she puts a picture of a short bus, right, and says that Zeus, attacking need to get in it and not lick the windows. So here's the deal. I called her out for using N-word and calling Mexicans the W word, right? Moisture backs, right? She wants to use the fact that she's half Mexican. She can do that, right? I'm like, no, it's all racial slurs. So you want to use them, you can use them, right? Oh, you want to see, Aaron? I'll try to send it to you. But here's the thing. Now she's ableist. So now she's attacking, people, young children that used to use that bus, right? We no longer have short buses anymore. So this is the problem that we have with people like her, right? Is that she just keeps, somebody needs to take away the shovel, right?
Yeah.
She just gets in the hole and she just keeps digging and digging. The dirt is flying. And it is just really pathetic that you can't just say, yeah, I said it, and I got to work on some stuff.
That part.
You're not supposed to use slurs towards people and then expect people to think that you're a sweet person, that you're a kind person. And then you make fun of neurodivergent children that used to ride those buses, right? So look up that word because I know you don't know what it means. Yeah, because you'll probably use the R word to describe.
Lord have mercy.
God forbid. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. That was funny. Anyway,
fair enough.
Always trying to teach.
Yeah. All right, now we got to move it along. All right, but it was a pleasure having you both up here.
I saw that live where Wildman was on there with his son that you guys were on, right?
Yeah.
I encountered Wildman and his son about 7 or 8 months ago, where they called me all kinds of hard R's.
Of course they
all kinds of them.
Nasty work.
So okay, so I'm just going to make that clear that they were trying to use something on you guys.
Uh-huh.
You know what? These people are poisonous. Trust me, I know.
There you go. There you go. Well, listen, thank you. You both. Big Zeus has to get up out of here. W to the chat, Dr. Lex and Shay. So sorry. All right. Do we have the birthday girl up here? All right, Ange, are you there? And I think it's Straight Facts' birthday. If so, we will get up here and we will sing happy birthday, and then I am out of here. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Who do we have? Good morning, Straight Facts. Welcome. Good morning. And where is our good friend Ange? I know it's her birthday, but I also know that she is dealing with a lot on her end. All right. So what we'll do is
Ange's birthday too?
Absolutely. All right. Make sure you all show Ange a lot of love, and then I gotta figure out how to send this, make the screen do what it does. Oh yes. Oh yes. Welcome. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on a Friday. All right. All right. All right.
Thank you, Zeus. Thank you.
No problem. How do I do this? I forget.
I know mine has been tripping too lately.
There we go. There you go. Ange, I see you sneaking in here. Why don't you come on up here?
Thank you.
I think we got to squeeze it in as much as we can, but keep it clean though. All right. And I want to celebrate. Because we've done so much together in such a small amount of time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and she's very shy today, and but I'm going to try to force her to come on up here. Ange, if you can, please,
come
Ange.
Ange, come on
Yeah,
up
yeah,
here.
yeah. Because your fans, they're looking for you, and I kind of sent them out there to say, Ange, you got to come on up here. I mean, you don't got to turn on your camera, but you got to come up here and give the people what they want. Come on, put Ange in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you do it. Put A-N-G in the chat, because I'm only going to do it. Okay, she might not be able to come. All right, we'll keep it clean. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I see a lot of them. Look at all the Anges. I mean, come on, can we get it? Come on, and look at that thing. Oh, the grandbaby. So cute. Well, she's not coming, but you know what? What we'll do, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll try to get her next time. I know there's a lot of people out here who do that. They go, we get us next time. I'm too shy. All right, so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is celebrate happy birthday for Straight Facts, and it's a good day. It's a Friday. What a way to go out. All right, so let's do what we came to do.
Yeah. I heard it was somebody's birthday. I heard it was somebody's birthday. Yeah. DJ Panda birthday song.
Let's go.
Yeah. Today is your birthday. We gon' say it loud.
Hey.
Today is your birthday. I know you're so proud.
Hey.
Today is your birthday. We gon' turn out.
Turn up. Let's go. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. Only you can do it here on the Kingdom. There's nobody that does it better over here. All right. Look at all this love you got, Straight Facts. Wow. Hey.
Everybody bring it close. Got a new outfit and it's lit.
Turn up.
It's coming in.
Wow. Ladies. So nice. Let's go. Look at all of this love in the Kingdom. Happy birthday. Tearing this thing up. Let's go. Wow, you can only see it. Thank you. Wow, look at all the love.
Today is your birthday. We gon' say it loud.
Hey.
Today is your birthday. I know you're so proud. Today is your birthday. We gon' turn out.
Let's go. Cut the cake. Let's go.
Happy birthday to you.
Let's go. See, it's a lot of love over here. Wow, look at all this love. You can't make it up. This is real. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Well.
Thank you so much, you guys. I truly appreciate you, Zeus, and I truly appreciate the Kingdom. We're going to be over on Riggs Live at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the flowers.
Okay. Well, listen, happy birthday. Do you have any plans you're willing to share with all of us? Rickster, thank you. Do you have any?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chill in the house with my husband and give him my undivided attention.
Ooh,
You know, yeah.
keep it clean. I'm kidding. But you're doing the right thing.
Sometimes we spend a lot of time on this app helping and doing things for everybody else. And I know it's my birthday, but I think that will be the best birthday gift. Plus, I got a big jacuzzi tub in my room, so I'm going to utilize that as well.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, from your lips to God's ears, all right? And as long as you're having fun and safe while you're doing it, how can we say that's not a good thing to do? All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming up here, honestly, and celebrating your birthday. All right. You two both. Okay. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Tell the kingdom bye-bye. Hear me? Say bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you guys again for the gifts. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a wonderful day.
We will. You too. All righty then. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Straight Fact. That's a real birthday party. Y'all turned up for her. Ange, I'm going to get you. All right. You too. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. That concludes this special broadcast. Big Zeus does have to get up out here. Didn't we have a great week together? I mean, W to the chat. We did a whole lot of work this week together, but you know what? It's worth it, all right? Because we really are saving America one show at a time. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. Educational, entertaining, and engaging. Thank you, Kabir. Yeah, all of you. But I also got to say, we got to give one last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to all of the Zeus haters out there, and they know exactly who they are. They are the ones, honestly, who are in a cult, not us, all right? And so what we'll do is warm up the lake of fire one last time for all the Zeus haters, all right, and send them where they came from, straight to hell! Alrighty then. Thank you, everyone. Now, we'll do Drill Baby Drill, and we are out of here. All right. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's see. We're gonna do some Drill Baby Drill, and we are out of here. All right. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to turn it up and turn it loose.
Kamala Harris's war, Pennsylvania energy, because she's gonna ban fracking, right? 100%. She's against fracking, against all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, about a year and a half ago, when she was getting killed,
somebody get Ange. I know
she said, "I like fracking very much." Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
Have a great weekend, you too.
She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
Let's go.
Drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so
all my radicals. Shout out to all my radicals. Seriously. Trump is the worst president. You're right.
We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylum. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack. Drill, what's a black frack?
Let's go. Reggae, my man. Hey, Doc. Hey. There you go. We getting reported. We're going to go ahead and get it out of here. We don't know what happened, but we're doing it. Hey. She can't help it. She's a radical. Lady Boss Monet, we will frack and drill, baby, drill. Thank you all so much. We've had an incredible week together, haven't we? So much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes. You know they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Right, Evan? You know what I'm talking about. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. Hey, we're gonna. Here it goes. Uh-oh.
You know, they go crazy when I say,
what did they do?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
Oh.
They say,
why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? Why?
We're going to lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say,
when you say what?
Great
Hannibal. You know, because you do go crazy, right? When you hear the Hannibal Lecter, don't you go crazy out there, ladies and gentlemen? Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Time. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Keep it sane. I got your edge. I got you. I'm gonna get you. But you know, I understand you're taking care of very important stuff. How much do you own that house, though? Okay, don't worry. We're gonna pay off all of your debt, and then you know what we're gonna do after that? We're gonna lower those taxes, all right? Because there's just so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we gotta do is drill, maybe drill to get to it, and then after that, you know, do a little fracking. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? You want me to please play it off? All right, I will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We are out.